Hey, welcome everyone. This is Mike from zozostockwatch.com, and this is going to be your stock watch list for the 21st of February for Thursday. And we'll talk a little bit about the markets. We'll go over some charts, things like that, and we'll do some news also. So let's go ahead and look at some earnings that came out before the bell this morning on Wednesday. We had CVS. We actually traded this in the service today. So CVS, they gapped it down. They lowered their guidance, and so CVS, we took this coming back up over VWAP. Now I watch stuff on a 2-minute chart, but I'm just showing you this on a 5-minute chart. We played this over 64.15, and the stock ran up to about $65 on CVS. So a nice earnings play reversal there, back over VWAP. Wix had earnings this morning. They lowered guidance for the next quarter coming up, and also I think for all of 2019. So that one got slammed. We were watching it, but we didn't see any opportunities in that one. Garmin was a real nice one, but you're not going to believe what I did on this. So we watched Garmin. They gapped it up when the earnings came out. They were kind of backing and forth at below this 76.50 area. So we put in the room if this stock gets up over 76.50, it could pop, and it did actually do that. And I got about $1.50 out of the trade on Garmin, and and sold it off, and I made a nice trade in it, but left quite a bit on the table. So we got in right here. It popped up real quick. I said, wow, nice quick trade. I'll take it off. And look at this thing. It went all the way up to $83. So left a lot on the table, but that's trading. That's part of it. And you're not going to get the whole kit and caboodle. Here was the call in the service. This is the room. So Garmin right here over 76.50. Now these are talked about on the microphone. They're typed in the room. So a lot of traders got this, paid ourselves, and then the next thing you know, the stock was moving up to $83. So nothing you can do about that. So that was a couple of the earnings plays that we traded today in the room. Tomorrow, before the open, you have Domino's Pizza, DPZ, Wendy's, WEN will be reporting. Newmont Mining, NEM for Newmont, GoGo, GeoGeo will be reporting before the bell on Thursday. Roku comes out after the close on Thursday with Baidu, The Trade Desk, TTD coming out after the bell on Thursday, and then Dropbox also. Kraft Heinz will be reporting tomorrow after the close. KHC is symbol there, Kraft Heinz. And then you also have on Friday Wayfair, symbol W, coming out with earnings. Now, today was the FOMC minutes came out from the prior meetings, and a lot of backing and forthing. I'll show you that in a couple of minutes. And we also had the API crude oil data come out. I'll go over that in a few minutes also. And then tomorrow now we have at 8:30, you have some numbers coming out. At 8:30, the Philadelphia Fed business outlook. You have initial jobless claims. The big thing here is make sure you know that the oil numbers are coming out at 11 o'clock on Thursday because the markets were closed on Monday. Just be aware of that at 11 o'clock. Nat gas comes out at 10:30. You also get at 10 o'clock leading indicators. A lot of Fed speak coming up on Friday. You can see here in the red, and this all courtesy of the trade exchange. And I should say this earnings view was courtesy of Earnings Whisper. Here's the heat map from Finviz. So once again, you see the big tech stocks like Google down fractionally. Amazon was down fractionally today. Walmart took a big hit today, down over 2% on the day. Facebook was up fractionally for the day. Banks got a little bit of buying today. Bank America, JP Morgan were up. Apple was positive on the day, up a little over 0.5% for the day. The oil stocks stocks got some buying today. ExxonMobil, CVX got some buying. Oxy, OXY, ConocoPhillips, COP, Schlumberger, Halliburton, BHGE, all in the OHI, oil services sector, all in the green today. But once again, some of so the markets squeezed out another gain today. Dow Jones was up 63 points, S&P 500 up about 5, Nasdaq up 2, basically flat. Like we said, the FOMC minutes came out around 2 o'clock today. So let's take a look at the SPY action today. So right here is when the FOMC minutes came out at 2 o'clock. So they drove us down. We came down to VWAP on the SPY. We broke down through it after we popped up. So you see the volatility as the news readers, the algos are reading the comments from the FOMC minutes. Then they pop us up. Then they drove us all the way back down to the pre-market lows here on the SPY. Then they turned us back up through VWAP. And this 278.55 area was kind of resistance the whole entire day. We actually got a trade in the SDS right in here. We were trading SDS, which when the SPY moves down, SDS moves up. We also traded SPXU, which is another inverse. As the SPY moves down, the SPXU moves up. Just because it kept coming up to this resistance spot, so we took a shot on the SDS and moved down nicely on that. On this move on the SPY, and the SDS moved up. And then after that, we recovered after the FOMC minutes. They brought us down to 277.25. They turned us back up. And after that, it was pretty much just, chop zone for the rest of the day, the rest of the session there on the SPY. GLD gold was moving down on the FOMC minutes and kind of sold off into the after hours here on GLD. Now, you've had a big run in the gold, and so a little bit of a pullback here. We're still above the 5 EMA, the 10, and the other fast moving averages there. Like I said, as far as the percent changes for the market, for today, we had the steel sector was up almost 2% on the day. The marijuana MJ was up about a little over 1.5% on the day. USO was up 1 and a fraction on USO light sweet crude oil was up 1 and a fraction there on that. The OIH was up 1%. Here's the China internet names again, up about 1% for the day. JNUG was up a little under 1%, and the SMH, the semiconductors, up just a little under 1% on the day. FXI, the China 25 index fund, was up a little over 0.5% for the day. To the downside, we had the VIX losing steam again. No volatility really out here. No fear really out here. The IGV, the software index, was down a little under 1%. You've had big moves in a lot of the software application stocks, so a little bit of a give back there today. And that's pretty much it. Everything else down fractionally for the day that I follow. As far as the IWM, coming up to the, this is the small cap, the Russell ETF, coming up to that 200 SMA. So we're going to have to watch and see what the reaction is if we touch it. So 157.88. So we'll call it 158 area is the 200 SMA on the IWM. The IWC was climbing today, not near the 200 SMA yet. This is the micro cap fund ETF. So we have a ways to go before we get up to that $100 and the 200 SMA on that. Let's see. Caterpillar had a nice day today. Nice pop in Caterpillar, getting up over the 200 SMA. What else did I want to talk to you about? Tesla. They had their lost their top lawyer after 2 months. So that drove Tesla down today about 1% on the day for Tesla. Dip buyers did show up at around that $300 area for Tesla. Let's see, what else do I have on my notes? CVS. We talked about that one. They took a hit as they guided lower. There was a trade talks continue between U.S. and China for tomorrow. Also, Trump was out talking about possibility of tariffs on Europe if they don't come to the table. So Trump going after Europe now also. So for the FOMC minutes today, it was basically dovish comments, a wait and see attitude by the Fed off of the Fed minutes. And like I said, the first reaction was up, and then after that, it was kind of chopping all around on the SPY. Let's go ahead and look at some of the news courtesy of the trade exchange. So STZ, just before the market closed, they had some volatility hit that stock. They drove it down. Earnings per share to grow at about 10% rate over the next 3 years. That coming from, they were in the CAGNY conference. So they made some comments, and that drove Constellation Brands down into the close. And in the after hours, still kind of ticking down on Constellation Brands. Let's go ahead and look at some earnings that came out after the bell. By the way, RWLK, they announced a public offering. So RWLK, AKAO, announces closing of 15 million underwritten public offering. NUVA, earnings per share beat, revenue miss. SRCI, earnings per share revenue beat. We had MANT, earnings per share revenue miss. Let's see, what else do we get? Sedge came out with earnings. That's a solar company, Israeli solar company. This stock, they moved it up at first, and then it moved down in the after hours here. Sedge, earnings per share miss, revenue beat. GoDaddy came out with earnings. Earnings per share revenue beat on GDDY. I believe this one was up. At first, they sold it off. It recovered. So GoDaddy recovering there, but they had earnings per share revenue beat. Let's see, what else did we get as far as some earnings? Jack in the Box, restaurant stock popping up to 82 bucks here in the after hours. Earnings per share revenue beat on that name. And GDOT, earnings per share beat, revenue in line on that one. We had Cake, earnings per share revenue miss, CAKE, so another restaurant stock, moving that one up in the after hours tonight on CAKE. Navi, let's see, partners withdraws indication of interest. So let's just check that out before I read all that news. Navi selling off on that news. So let's see. Canyon Partners withdraws indication of interest. So I guess they're pulling out. Maybe they were interested in a strategic move here on Navi. So that stock moving down. CAR, CAR, earnings per share and revenue beat. That's Avis Budget Group there. So that stock moving up in the after hours tonight. Let's scroll along. We had the API crude oil data come out after the bell at 4:30. So we had a build of 3.2 million barrels. So oil actually holding up okay in the after hours after that API numbers came out. And let's see if we have any other news. Ruger, RGR, they are a gun manufacturer. RGR, not much reaction. Let's see, they beat by 12 cents, missed on revenue there for Ruger. And that looks to be about it as far as some of the news, courtesy of the trade exchange. So let's go ahead and get into that watch. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the watch list. Still watching this ACB Aurora Cannabis. They had earnings a few weeks ago, actually holding above the 200 SMA here. We've had this pullback. We'll see if it could turn back up. I would like it to get back above the 20 and the 10 SMA. So keep an eye on this one for a possible swing trade in this name if they can get it back over the 10 SMA. AKE, DER. This one was making a nice move into the close tonight. Now it ran from about 90 cents all the way up to $1.15. And if we look at it on the daily chart, they're trying to turn the corner, 1.9 million shares, possibly a continuation move in this name. Keep that one on watch. APHA did get above the 10 SMA today. We'll see if there's any kind of follow through today in APHA. We traded a Cronus Group today. We got in at 21.80 on the name on Cronus Group, CRON. Just for intraday trading, it popped up over 22, so Cronus Group was real cooperative. CGC was another one that we traded today, and that one made a little bit of a pop. We're no longer in that name, just for intraday trades. Another name I'll be watching, it had about over 500,000 shares come into this ASTC, Aerospace and Defense. They popped it up. Would have liked to have seen a little more volume come into the name, so we'll see how this one is going to play out tomorrow. BLNK, a big move up here over the 200 SMA, has that $4 area. Let's see if we get an inside day tomorrow, a little bit of a consolidation, let it build under this $4 area, and then we'll see if we get a move over that. 7 million shares came into BLNK today. Boxel, I was thinking, maybe this one is starting to set up here on Boxel. You see all the moving averages kind of coiling, converging here. We got as high as 310 today. Volume still a little bit on the light side, 380,000 shares, but Boxel has been holding up after this big move up. It's been kind of consolidating, still under the 200 SMA though on that one. CAR, an earnings play showing some strength, so we'll watch this one for tomorrow. Cliffs, CLF, this one moving up nicely today. The high today was 1175, so if we can get up over 1175, 1180, maybe a possible swing trade in this name. 11.4 million shares came into this one, so keep an eye on that one. CLNE was popping up, 1.4 million shares. We were as high as 230 on this name, coming up from about $2. So we'll see if this one wants to make a move tomorrow. Another one I'll be watching is CLSD. This one had 9 million shares come into the name. Let's see, we got as high as $1.90. So if it can get up over that $1.90, maybe we make a move. Maybe you get this gap fill back here. So we'll see. CLSD, not a favorite, but I can't ignore this volume that came in today. Craig was moving up in the after hours. I didn't see any news that I'm aware of. They were popping it up, but it looks like now it pulled back. So not as interesting on that one, but you never know. Tomorrow could do something. GDDY, GoDaddy was popping up a little bit on their earnings. We'll see if there's anything there for tomorrow. I saw Jivo. It was hitting my trade ideas scanners a few times today. Volume a little over 500,000 shares. High on Jivo, about $2.65. So I saw CLNE moving up and now Jivo moving up. So keep an eye on Jivo for tomorrow. IDEX. Perking up today, 2.3 million shares on IDEX. Nice close, and looks like they followed this one through in the after hours tonight. On this name, it closed at 207, trading at 225 in the after hours. Jack, J-A-C-K, they had earnings. Let's see, this thing was down here at 78. Looks like they were selling it off today. Then they surprised everybody. So maybe some shorts caught in JACK. We'll keep it on watch. KNDI, this one had a big pop, but to tell you the truth, we traded NEO today, NIO. We took NEO as it came out over this 735 spot right here on NEO for this really nice move. up to 775, and I still have shares of Neo, so hopefully it'll hold up into tomorrow for Neo, and so it's looking better. Got up to about the 10 SMA on the daily chart, but KNDI had a good move also. Maybe need to have kind of an inside day tomorrow. We'll see. Not a favorite intraday. MGNX, holding this 5 EMA after that big pop up to 32 bucks. The high on this one is 22.57, so maybe 22.65 gets MGNX going again. Another 1.1 million shares there. Melco had unusual options activity in this name. Look at this big expanding volume here, 7.8 million on this name. The high was 23.55, so keep an eye on that one. Maybe a possible swing trade in that name. NAC, a small little gold stock, was popping up today. Here's the daily on NAK. Now you've had a big run from about 50 cents all the way up to about $1.10 on NAK. Let's look at this one on the weekly real fast. Has some work. It's getting up over the 200 SMA here on the weekly chart. Probably for continuation, it would need to get up over that 108 area for NAK, small little gold stock. Neo, we talked about already. NLNK, also expanding volume here. So there's the expanding 2.3 million shares on NLNK. Came up to the 100 SMA. Now, this thing hasn't been over the 100 SMA in a long time. So that is right at 182. So maybe 185. This NLNK might want to make a nice move. Actually, in the after hours, it's just under that number, 185. NR, small little oil stock, was popping some volume, 800,000 shares. NR, keep an eye on this one. Looks very good. OMER had a nice close, a nice pop, and then in the after hours holding this 1468, getting up over the 100 SMA here. Keep this OMER on watch. A volume 1 million shares in this name, OMER. Riot had an inside day today after that big move up. Nice volume again in Riot. Has that $4 area it's battling. The 200 SMA currently on this name is 428, so we'll keep Riot on watch again. SKYS, after this big move up to about $1.60, couple of days down. Me personally, I would like it to come back down to about the 5 EMA, maybe this 110 area on SKYS. And then maybe we get another move back up on that one. TECK had options activity today. Actually, the Nigerian brothers, John Nigerian, I think it was, no, Pete Nigerian mentioned this one today in the 12 o'clock show, the halftime show. Big volume, 6.8 million, industrial metals and minerals. So a big move up, still under the 200 SMA. In the after hours, still in the same area, 23.13. But possible swing trade in names like this as the market is rotating into these industrial metals stocks. Let's see, a couple of more. I saw UAN. I believe this is a China name. UAN getting up above the moving averages here. We have a resistance spot of about 395. Maybe over 395 gets you that $4 break. 642,000 shares on that one. And that's it for the watch list. All right, this is Mike from zozostockwatch.com. If you want to come trade with me for $30, you could be in my room for a month to come kick the tires, so it's cost you $1 a day. If you're not a day trader, you could join our private Twitter feed where we put our swing trades out, and to try that for your first month is $20. So down in the description box below this video will be a link to do all that. So basically, to try the all-inclusive service, $30 for 30 days. And if you just have time for swing trading, $20 for your first month, and you get access to the private feed. All right, this is Mike from zozostockwatch.com. Have a really good day trading tomorrow. We'll be back at it with another video tomorrow night. Please hit the thumbs up if you have time and if these videos are helping you out. Thanks very much, and see you back at it with another video tomorrow night.